construction worker and not like a bodybuilder. And so, you know, I gained a little bit of weight for those scenes, and so it made it more believable. But then again, when there's a director that says, like a Terminator, I want you to be ripped, I want you to look good, I want you to gain 10 pounds of muscles, I want you to look more like you did in 1984, then I can also do that. I can roll back the clock and be younger and have the same face as I had then, but I can get the body in pretty good shape for those kind of scenes. So it's fun to do that, and it's fun to work out. And you know, I ride the bicycle every morning down to Gold's Gym, and I work out at Gold's Gym, and you know, kind of like makes me feel like I'm back in the 70s or the 60s when I started at Gold's Gym. So it's like it's a great place. I mean, they have great facility, great equipment, and all that. And then I work out at night at home also before I have dinner. I do a little bit, like 30 minutes, 45 minutes of cardio training. And
you had your old training partner, I saw some pictures from the Mecca from Gold's Gym, your buddy Franco, and they're still pumping irons. Great to see you guys. I was in training with Franco again at Gold's Gym. I mean, literally, you've got to be transported back in time to 1970 something. Are you guys getting ready for the Olympia?
Well, you know, Franco has been a dear friend of mine now for 50 years. I met Franco in 1965, and it was in Stuttgart, Germany, at the European Championships in bodybuilding and powerlifting. Franco won the powerlifting championships in his weight category, and I won the junior Mr. Europe competition. It was in October 31st, 1965, and so since then we have become friends. And when I moved to Munich from Austria, we worked out together. And he taught me about powerlifting, I taught him about bodybuilding. He wanted to be a bodybuilding champion. I wanted to get stronger because I knew that was very important in order to gain mass. And so we have been friends. And then when I came to America, when Joe Weider brought me to America, literally 9 months later, I convinced Joe Weider to bring also Franco over here. Now, Joe Weider at that point had no patience for little people. You know, so he said, no, it's only, and I even exaggerated, you know, Franco is 5'3", but they said he's 5'5". And, you know, he's a monster and all this kind of stuff, but it meant nothing to Joe. Joe saw the pictures, Franco standing next to me, and he says, why would I bring over a little guy? You know, we have a lot of little guys here. I need big guys, I need monsters. But I eventually convinced him and, you know, put the spin on it that Franco's the strongest man pound for pound and all those things. And then I showed him pictures of Franco blowing up hot water bottles and bending steel bars and doing all kinds of crazy things. So he liked that, Joe. You know, he was always impressed with strong man and all that. And so anyway, he brought him over, and then Franco and I became training partners. We lived together for a while and trained, you know, morning, noon, and night. That's all we were thinking of. And then we went to school together. He went to, we both went to college. He went then to chiropractic college, and I then went in the direction of studying business. And but so I've been really proud of Franco, the kind of success that he has had, the money that he had made, and the chiropractic office that he has established, the amounts of thousands and thousands of patients that he has treated and brought. You know, health to them and encourage people. And then he's, you know, we still get together, we still work out together, and he comes over and trains and plays chess with me. You know, because we have been playing chess our whole lives, and so that's another thing that we do and have a great time doing.
Who wins most of the time?
Well, sometimes Franco comes over and beats me 3 times straight. And then sometimes when I give him plenty of wine, Franco loves wine. As a matter of fact, he makes his own wine, and he brings over, you know, for Christmas always like 6 bottles of his own wine, and he does really well. So anyway, so I serve him wine, and he loves drinking wine. And then after 3 glasses, you know, I start winning. So we have a great time. No, but we are pretty much all the same. You know, sometimes he wins, sometimes I win, and the important thing is just to have a good time. And to have the laughs as we have in training or whatever we do when we go skiing or whatever, we just have a lot of laughs and we talk about the good old days and about our families and all this. So he's a fun guy. He's so much fun, and he's, you know, he has his house in Sardinia that he has built many years ago, and he still goes to Sardinia regularly. and still lives the Sardinian life and the Californian life.
Well, Governor, speaking of having a good time, now years ago, you used to spend your spare time terminating people. I understand these days you're actually firing people.
That's right, yes. I just finished the last show of Celebrity Apprentice, and that was, a lot of fun to do. I've never done a reality TV show before, and I thought that we picked some really great celebrities, and we had some great boardroom meetings, and there was a lot of firing going on, and it was a fun thing to do. Like I said, it was the first time for me, and I really enjoyed working with the network with NBC, enjoyed working with Mark Barnett, who is the producer of the show, and with his co-producers, and the celebrities were terrific. So it was really a great experience, and it's going to come out, I think, after the Olympics. NBC is going to broadcast it as soon as the Olympics are finished. The show will come on Celebrity Apprentice.
Well, the man you replaced, Donald Trump, as we all know, is running for president of the United States right now. But I always like to get the fans' input. How many people think if they were to change the rules that you might be looking at the next president of the United States?
I'm absolutely convinced that I would have done extremely well in this run. Because I think this is definitely an interesting year, as you can see. And but the reality of it is the Constitution is different. At this point, you're still not able to run when you're foreign-born. Even though I did a lot of detailed checking in that maybe my mother had an affair with an American soldier or something like that. Since the Americans occupied Austria after the Second World War, so I thought maybe I should check into that, into the genes and all that. But nothing penciled out. It was not the Americans that occupied my area where I grew up. It was the British that occupied it. And the French occupied another area, the Russians the east, and the Americans around Salzburg in the area. So there was no luck looking into that either. So I tried everything that I could, to be honest with you. But well, because if Obama can say, look, even though he was born somewhere else, but says, well, yeah, I was born in Canada, but, my mother was over here and she was a citizen of America. So everyone has their own little twist. So maybe I can find my own spin. But it just didn't work out. But I have to say that everything that I have accomplished in my life is because of America. And so I cannot complain because there's one thing that I can't do. So everything that I have done is that was successful in is because of America. So I think this is without any doubt, the greatest country in the world, and everywhere. And it's a political year, and you will hear candidates talking about that the country's broken and we're down and we're going to rebuild it, we're going to bring it back. It all sounds good during a campaign. And people do that, but the reality of it is that I've traveled so much around the world. I do it for the movies, for bodybuilding, and we have now the Arnold Classic, as you know, in 6 different continents. And so I travel all the time, going skiing overseas and having fun and taking vacations. And I talk to people, and there is no one that doesn't love to move to America. Everyone always asks me, says, well, what's the best way for me to move to America? How can I get a job in America? I want to move to California. I want to move to New York. I want to move to Florida. I want to go to Ohio. Whatever the state is, everyone has their own favorite areas, but they want to come to America. They all want to come to America. Why? Because it is still the best country in the world. And the key thing now is just for us to keep it the greatest country in the world. And this is why it's very important to elect the politicians that really can prove they in fact can manage it and can bring people together, because there's not one single party that can do it by themselves. I have been governor of California, and I can tell you, even though I'm a Republican, But the first thing that I did was I was able to bring Democrats and Republicans together, because the only way you can build a state, or rebuild a state, or rebuild the country, or build a country, build the infrastructure, do the healthcare reform that we need, do the immigration reform that we need, and do the kind of things that we need to do. You can only do when both of the parties work together. And so this is why you can be a conservative or you can be a liberal, but you got to work together in order to get it done together. And so this is why it is important that we elect the right people. They can unite people, they can bring people together, and that actually have a vision of where America should go, and then fix the problems as they come along.
What do you think about your buddy Donald Trump's chances at being elected? I don't think people really took him serious at first, but clearly he's gained a lot of ground, still winning in the polls. Does he have a legitimate shot?
Well, I think that the polls show, the numbers that people are buying into what he has to say and all that stuff. I don't want to get political here and talk about that. But the bottom line is, the people in each state as he goes, they listen to his message, and he's ahead in some of the states. In other states, Cruz is ahead. In other states, Rubio is ahead. In other states, Kasich is ahead. So, I love Kasich, the governor of California, I have to say, because he's a man that has shown over and over that he can handle the situation. I mean, the guy, when he was in Congress, and he was the chairman of the House Budget Committee. I mean, this was the first time they balanced the budget, which was unheard of. First time they balanced the budget since a man walked on the moon, the first time. So I mean, that is really quite an accomplishment. And then when he became governor, he licked the problem of an $8 billion deficit here in this state. And now they have a $2 billion surplus in the state of Ohio. And he has created 300,000 jobs here and has reduced taxes by $5 billion. So I mean, imagine that guy goes now to Washington and does the same thing for this country on a national level as he did on the state. That's the kind of action. He has shown it firsthand. So that's the kind of action we need. And he's also a uniter and not a divider. So that's what we need right now.
Yeah.